So picture this, Davos 2026. You've got two of the biggest names in tech on one stage, and they're laying out two completely different futures for all of us. On one side, you have the visionary, who's dreaming of a world with no scarcity. And on the other, the builder, who sees the biggest construction project in the history of humanity. Let's really dig into what they said.
Okay, so we've got to start with what was, by far, the most jaw-dropping prediction from the entire event. Elon Musk gets up there, and he doesn't talk about superintelligence like it's some far-off sci-fi idea. Nope, he put a date on it, the end of 2026. That one sentence right there, it just sets the stage for everything else.
And look, this isn't just going to be some conference recap. What we're doing here is breaking down what could be a massive turning point for civilization, all seen through the eyes of the two guys at the absolute epicenter of the AI revolution, Elon Musk and, of course, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang.
So on one hand, you've got Elon Musk, the visionary. This is a guy who thinks in terms of, huge civilizational shifts, saving human consciousness, and creating a world where nobody wants for anything. Then, on the other hand, you have Jensen Huang, the builder. He's all about the physical nuts and bolts, the chips, the data centers, the actual infrastructure that makes any of this AI stuff even possible.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it brings us to the heart of their two big ideas. They both agree AI is the future, right? But the worlds they're describing, they couldn't be more different. So is it a future of total abundance, or is it a future all about the massive challenge of just building the thing?
All right, let's break down their core philosophies. Musk is talking about this future of abundance, a world where AI and robots basically create a post-scarcity society, where work is, well, optional. But Huang, he sees a new industrial revolution. For him, AI is just a massive, practical construction project, literally the biggest one the world has ever seen.
To really get where Musk is coming from, you have to understand this one core idea he has. He genuinely sees human consciousness as this super rare, fragile thing, like a tiny candle in a huge dark room that could just snuff out. So for him, AI and space travel aren't just businesses. They're literally tools to keep that little flame from going out.
Jensen Huang, though, he comes at it from a completely different and way more pragmatic point of view. He calls AI a 5-layer cake. And the stuff we see and use, the apps, the models, that's just the frosting on top. Underneath all that is this gigantic industrial stack. And it all starts with the most basic layer you can imagine, energy. Okay, so you've got these massive, world-changing visions. But how do you actually build them? Because while their end goals are miles apart, both Musk and Huang agree completely on the single biggest thing that's standing in the way of either future. So what do you think it is? What's the one thing holding all this back? Is it a chip shortage? Not enough data? Maybe not enough smart people to code it all? Well, according to both of them, it's none of those things. It's actually something way more fundamental. It's electricity, simple as that. We are, quite literally, running out of juice to power the AI revolution. It's like we're building these incredible superbrains, but we're running out of wall sockets to plug them into. And this chart right here, it just lays the problem out perfectly. Like Musk said, our demand for AI compute, the brains, is going up exponentially. But our global electricity supply, it's just inching up at a slow, linear pace, maybe 3 or 4% a year. We're making more AI chips than we can physically power on. And this is where their solutions really show you who they are. Musk, in classic Musk fashion, has this wild idea. Let's launch data centers into space, where solar power is 5 times more effective and cooling is free. But Huang, the builder, is focused right here on Earth. He's talking about a multi-trillion-dollar investment to just build out the power grid we already have. Okay, so this huge change in technology and energy, it naturally leads to the question we're all thinking about. What does this mean for our jobs? Are we about to be replaced by robots? Or are we going to be retooling for a totally new kind of work? Musk's future, it's basically a world of total automation. He's predicting there will be more humanoid robots than people. And these robots will do everything, from building cars to taking care of the elderly. They will, in his own words, saturate all human needs, which pretty much makes human labor unnecessary. But then you've got Huang, who sees the complete opposite. He says the biggest winners of the AI boom won't be the coders. They'll be the skilled trade workers. We're going to need plumbers, electricians, and construction workers to build the actual physical world that this new digital age runs on. So this table here really puts it side by side. In Musk's world, our job is to find meaning outside of work, because the robots have it covered. In Huang's world, our skills are just redirected. We're the ones managing the AI and building the infrastructure for it. They're just two totally different visions for what we'll all be doing. So what do we do with all this? Where does this leave us? The two paths they laid out at Davos, they're not just business plans. They're a fundamental choice for how we as a society are going to handle the next decade of change. And this, right here, is the final takeaway. For Musk, it's not just tech, it's a full-on civilizational revolution, a tool to make sure consciousness itself survives and thrives. For Huang, it's an economic infrastructure project. It's a geopolitical necessity that every country needs to invest in just to stay in the game.
And just in case this all felt a little abstract, look at the timeline Elon Musk is working with. He believes that by the end of 2026, that's this year, AI will be smarter than any single one of us, and just about 5 years after that, smarter than all of us put together. Suddenly, this doesn't feel so far away, does it?
So that brings us back to the big question. We have these two incredibly powerful roadmaps laid out by two incredibly powerful people. One leads to a world of, let's call it, post-human abundance, where the very idea of work is gone. The other leads to a massive human-led industrial renewal. So, which path are we on? Which future are we actually building right now?